Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. We are going to be talking about the halo effect. The halo effect was first identified by an American psychologist named Edward Thorndike in 1920. He was studying military officers at that time and he was studying how they are evaluated and ranked. For example, an officer who was attractive in looks was also ranked higher in things like intelligence and leadership, and these qualities had nothing in common with his looks. That is what halo effect is. The halo effect is a cognitive bias where one positive trait of a person makes us assume other positive traits about them. For example, someone who is physically attractive, we always think that that person is smarter, kinder, nicer, whatever it may be, and most of the time the qualities that we assume that person has nothing to do with the positive trait that started it all. Some real life examples are that attractive people get jobs easier, have better opportunity. That is what pretty privilege is, right? Halo effect is, I sort of feel, an explanation to pretty privilege. That is the reason why celebrities are trusted more, and that is why they are asked to advertise for products. Why it happens? So, our brain likes to take quick shortcuts, and the reason for that is shortcuts help us save our energy, time, and effort, and that is why whenever we see a strong positive sign, our brain just fills the rest of us for it. Brain prefers speed, simplicity, and emotional impressions instead of long rational analysis, and that is why when we see one thing we assume the rest. So you see, halo effect can work in your advantage, like in the case of pretty privilege, and it can also work against you, for example in relationships. What happens in relationships is that halo effect takes place and you have a certain image of your partner in your head, and that image is not something that your partner is, and that is also not your partner's fault, because what you thought was fiction, what you thought was something that you made up. And that is why over the time what happens in relationships is you realize that that person was not what you thought that person was. In reality, that is not the truth, because your brain made an illusion, your brain created an illusion of that person, and it's not that person's fault that that person could not live up to it. In a lot of ways, the halo effect is a double-edged sword. People can really use this halo effect and manipulate people. I have seen that happen. The halo effect is strongest in physical attraction and love. The reason for that is that the halo effect conceals red flags early on. Watch out and try to analyze situations before you come to conclusions, and stop trying to fictionalize people just to make yourself feel better. Instead of trying to read between the lines, just read the lines. That is all that is going to be for today. Thank you guys so much for watching.